Hello there guys, and welcome back to Reborn with Michael Watson. Today we're going to summarise You Are the Placebo by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And I'm really excited to share this with you because it was one of the first books that I ever read of Joe Dispenza, and I'm really looking forward to breaking it down because it actually really opened my mind. Even more so than becoming supernatural and changing the habit of being yourself. And I'll tell you why. Because it really delved into the idea of this inner capability to heal yourself in a different way. And I love that we were talking about the placebo and the nocebo effect and all of these things. So I'm going to summarize it in my own way, and I'm going to have a little bit of a discussion on it. So this video may be a bit longer than the usual ones, but I really want to talk about it and some of my favorite stories in You Are the Placebo. Okay, so let's talk about this. So in You Are the Placebo, it talks about obviously the power of the placebo effect, and I love that the placebo effect demonstrates that the mind has a remarkable ability to heal the body. So what they're seeing when they were doing the placebo effect was they're going, I'm giving this sugar pill, inactive substance, and it leads to a spontaneous healing out of nowhere. And obviously many of us who have been on this journey are starting to really understand the placebo effect. But what it breaks down here is that it was going, not only did the tablets work, not only were the tablets sugar pills, but they were having an effect on pains. I even researched it into my own hair loss situation and regrew my hair and thickened it up. It's happened in hair loss studies, but they also noticed that when they were believing it was a real medicine, that it had the stronger effect. So what happened was it was faith in the outcome. You know, and that's what I love. That's my little breakdown of that there. You know, and also it didn't just stop at pills. They started to do placebo surgeries. And one of my favourite stories in You Are the Placebo is about the people who were getting the sham keyhole knee surgery. You know, and so they would do this keyhole knee surgery for the guys. And what would happen is they would say, I have no pain anymore. All they just had a slight insertion. None of them knew. And all of them were healed. It was so effective that they had to actually stop doing the treatment. They had to stop doing the surgery because the placebo was just as powerful as the surgery. So they couldn't actually verify the surgery's power. I hope they still do the placebo surgery, to be honest with you, because it obviously works, you know. And belief in the treatment and belief in the outcome was the whole point, you know. So, and then and one of my other favorite points is our thoughts and feelings and beliefs play a significant role in the outcomes of the interventions, whether medical, dietary or otherwise. And I've spoken about this a lot. And one story of a friend of mine who healed himself through a vegan diet of colitis. And I've brought this up on another video. Now the thing is, he did so much research, and in his research he came to the idea that the vegan diet was going to heal his colitis issue. And it did. But it does raise the question for me, because if everyone who's gone vegan isn't healed by that, then is it the vegan diet or is it the belief in the vegan diet? And my strong feeling is it's the belief. So the biggest thing I took from this is that it is your belief in what you are doing that it will have an effect on your body. Whether it's medication, surgery, or meditation and prayer work. So this is what I'm saying. It's your belief, your faith. And in this channel, we talk a lot about how to grow that faith. But I thought that was one of the most powerful bits there. Okay. So, you know, with Dr. Joe, obviously, in the book, he talks about how your personality, composed of your thoughts, emotions, and actions, shape your personal reality. So to change that, you've got to improve. You must change your personality by altering your thought patterns and behaviours. Now, this is a key sentiment that has continued through Dr. Joe Dispenza's work, okay? Change your personal reality by changing your personality. So that's thoughts, feelings, and behaviours, okay? Now, he doesn't always go into that, okay? But he doesn't go into how we do that, and that may be for another story, another video, you know, because sometimes it's like, well, what is the behaviours part? I get the meditation, I get the thoughts and feelings part, but I think the behaviours part, just to simply put it, is how we respond to life. You know, if we can stay in a pious, peaceful, connected energy, we're going to change, you know. And crossing that river of change, which he talks about in the book, which he also talks about a lot in his interviews and at his events, means transitioning from the current self to the person you want to become. So it's the old self and the new self, and I attest this to the sort of idea of the resurrection story in the Bible. You resurrect the health in yourself by resurrecting the self that is healthy. You resurrect the abundance in you by resurrecting or becoming the abundant person within you, okay? So you must die in your old self to be reborn as a new and improved version of yourself. Now, subconsciously, I must have seen that in the book, and that is why my channel is called Reborn with Michael Watson, because you literally do. It's like a rebirth. Think of it like the phoenix, The fire must burn down into the ashes, and then you're reborn out of the ashes, okay? This is what it is. So the old self dying, what does that mean? It means that the old thoughts and habits and reactions don't happen anymore. And this is what people find difficult because they're very addictive. And he talks about how addictive these personality traits can become. So if you're not seeing in front of you what you want to see yet, your immediate reaction is to go to fear, lack, force, trying. Let's try something new. That hasn't worked up to this point, so now it's time to try something new again, okay? So, and then what I love about the book is obviously it does go into the more scientific aspects of things about thoughts change the body. He talks about epigenetics. It literally shows that thoughts and the environment can influence the DNA. And I speak about this on the channel. Obviously, a great book with that is The Biology of Belief by Dr. Bruce Lipton. But this is interesting, isn't it? The environment. What does it mean? Well, it doesn't necessarily, if you think about it, it makes sense, epigenetics, because you have to look at evolution. You can have one bird that is on an island, okay, that has a different ecosystem, and it's never left that island. And the same bird that lives on a bigger land mass with a different ecosystem, they evolve differently because the environment affects the genes. That makes perfect sense to me, because that is a really clever, that is a very useful aspect of evolution, isn't it? If you want to keep life going, and life always finds a way, you want to then obviously have an inbuilt system that changes in regards to the environment. Now, with us as human conscious awareness, though, you see, when he talks about toxic thoughts, they lead to health problems, while positive thinking can promote health. He's saying basically we're creating the environment in our mind through thought and feeling. Because we're living in a world where most of our needs, 99% of the time, in the Western world in particular, are met. So all the problems are perceived stresses and strains to do with the social construct, really. So, we have to start to really understand that aspect of things and realize that we're creating our environment in our mind. So if you're stressed about finances, stressed about health, worried about this living in survival, as Dr. Joe Dispenza calls it, you are going to have issues, okay? Now, also then he talks a lot about mental rehearsal in the book as well, one of my favorite, okay? So mental rehearsal, envisioning how you want to act, feel, look, it creates new neural pathways in the brain. Now, he calls it mental rehearsal rather than visualization. The thing with Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I respect it, but he wanted to step away from the dogma of the more sort of manifesting spiritual side of self-healing, and he wanted to make all of it more sound like a sort of rooted in science aspect. Now, the thing with this is you're going to have to align not only the science but faith and divinity also to get the results that you want in the end, okay? Now, you don't have to have a faith in a certain aspect of religion, but you're going to have faith in an expectancy in the outcome. Now, what he means when he says mental rehearsal is a lot like visualization, but you're going to literally in your mind walk, act and be as the person you want to be. Now, the idea after that, though, is to then wake up from the mental rehearsal and step into that person in real life. Walk in the assumption, a bit like Neville Goddard would have put it, okay? Now, athletes have often used mental rehearsal, and he speaks about that a lot in the book, and I like that idea because, yes, he talks about the 4-minute mile in his speeches, that athlete in his mind had to get past a barrier within his mind to hit the 4-minute mile. Once he did it, then other people got past the mental barrier of the 4-minute mile. You see? So it's like you're breaking through barriers of belief by rehearsing it in your mind consistently and regularly and systematically, okay? And it's obviously, we're talking about consistent meditation and visualization can literally rewire the brain to manifest the desired reality. And your brain is the thing that is controlling your entire nervous system, your health, the heart beating, the digestive system. All the systems are controlled by the brain. So we want to take this part very seriously. Now, generating emotions, he obviously talks about that a lot too, especially gratitude. And it's essential for changing your thoughts. Now, here's my little 2 cents on that. I love that he speaks about the idea of gratitude, but the only thing that can happen there is it become a toxic mission to constantly feel grateful, even though you're in a state of distress because of where you currently are. Now, the idea then is actually, gratitude comes out from aligning yourself to peace. But I do understand that the heightened emotion of it, just like your heightened emotion of fear can quickly rewire the brain towards fear, the heightened emotion of gratitude can have a strong essence in rewiring the brain towards health and whatever it is you want to occur. Now, this is brilliant because the next part obviously talks about true healing occurs when emotions align with positive thoughts. Let's talk about that ever so slightly because it's the brain and heart coherence, and he talks about it a bit in this book, but the brain and heart coherence eventually becomes a much bigger teaching point of his in the future. But think about coherence. He talks about coherence. The brain is aligned to a thought. The heart is aligned to a feeling, the feeling center. Brain and heart is conscious and subconscious mind. So it's all about alignment, really, when he talks about that. So when we're aligning our thoughts with the desired emotion towards the fact of what we want to achieve. I think a good indicator that you have got to the point where you truly believe in where you're going to be is that you feel very easy about it. You feel very simple about it all, okay? And then later in the book, we talks a bit about meditation and brain states. So he talks about accessing the subconscious mind, which I've just spoken about there. In the lower brain waves, we're talking about beta, where we're in the sort of me and you now talking to each other, looking at this video, you're in beta, okay? Alpha is the calm, peaceful, susceptible, relaxed state. Now, every spiritual teacher has always said, get in a calm, peaceful state of being, and then do your affirmations and prayer work and visualizations. Now, theta he jumps into is a different state altogether, and actually it's one that is achieved through meditation. It's deep meditation, and he actually speaks about how alpha is a great state, but when you hit theta and you get to a level of theta where the brain is literally you can literally jump into the system and change it there and then, that's where theta is. And I love that concept, and that's why he tends to have the longer meditations, because he's wanting to hit that deeper state of being. Now, you can practice getting to theta, and if you meditate consistently, you can get to theta pretty quick. But also, it's literally where you can change the whole programming and beliefs of your subconscious mind, is what Dr. Joe is saying in that bit. Now, creating your own placebo. This is what he talks about. Identify the problematic thoughts and habits that may contribute to the physical or emotional issue. So, he often talks about, think about your problems and your thoughts and feelings, write them down, write down the problems, then define who you want to be and how that person would act, speak and think. Then from there, you've got to change that. So you cultivate the gratitude for the healing and visualize your desired state every morning. Now, for me, obviously, I want you to find that state, but remember, alpha, peace, calm, ease, aim for this state, and you can constantly access the subconscious mind. So if you can do that, then allow the gratitude for the vision to naturally pour out, you're going to see big shifts, okay? And by doing that consistently and having a consistent level of reaching peace, harmony, and joy and gratitude, you can literally transform and change your life. Now, one of the stories in the book is about the miracle man. Okay, now his actual name now is just eluding me, so I'm going to find it here because I did write it down. Bear with me there, you know. So the actual miracle man was called Morris Goodman's, you know, and he was in The Secret also. But he had a plane crash, right? What did they say to him? They said, you said your diaphragm's crushed, your spine's crushed, you'll never walk, breathe by yourself, and you'll never speak again. Well, he said, that's what you think. But it doesn't matter what you think, it matters what I think, okay? So he committed to visualizing the healing every day. And he said, I'm going to walk out by Christmas, okay? And he did. He visualized it every day. He said, breathe deep, breathe deep. And he would visualize, and he would never let anything come into his mind that denied his healing. And this is what has been taught for years and years and years. And sometimes it takes people to go to the depths of their soul, the dark depths of their soul, before they make that change. Now, the last one here is also, it talks about the nocebo effect, which I haven't touched on. And one of the stories in there that really blows my mind is the poor women in the war-torn country who saw their partners shot and they went blind from the experience. The brain just shut off that aspect of them. Now, what I'm trying to say to you is our thoughts can create health or discord in the body. So the whole point of this book is align to peace, harmony, ease. Relax your body, calm your body. Start to focus on that which you want to become. Then think, act, walk, and become that person. That is the formula for healing within this book. And this is why I wanted to break it down and speak about it with you guys today. I hope you found it really helpful. It was a very simple breakdown, but I wanted to talk to you about it, and I'll see you on the next one, guys.